screen. Broadcast is
We are
live.
live.
All right.
Well, all right.
Hey, fellas, thanks for joining us here. This is
we're good.
This is day one of social distancing for most people, so we kind of figured we'd get together and kill some of the boredom, maybe kill a few sips or a couple of bottles, and just chat and see how everybody's making it through this interesting time in our nation and this world. So we got Wes from out in Colorado, Bill Scott from up in Michigan, Timothy from right here in Louisville as well. So I see we got a few people in the chat. So let's just go through what, Wes, you were the first one logging on here. What do you got there? What are you sipping on?
I am sipping on some scotch. Got the new Ardbeg Black, which is a Pinot Noir cask finish, committee release, and last year's Ardbeg Drum, which is a rum cask finish of a younger Ardbeg, 50.7% and 52%.
Wonderful. I see Craig's on already.
Oh, this got sexy real quick. You better believe it. Hey, Craig.
Craig is one of our good friends from the Louisville Bourbon Hounds and the Louisville whiskey scene.
That's right.
They thought they were safe over in Indiana, but I know they got a couple of Floyd County positives lately, so it's everywhere, man.
Fortunately, the fuckery is not, it's everywhere.
It really is, and it's awful. Yeah. So, all right, Tim, what do you got going on there?
I got a few things going on. I got the Dant. I have a Wild Turkey 12-year. I believe this was a Japan export.
Yum.
And in lieu of, all things Thursday / 4 game.
Don't try to butter up the host here.
Why would I do that? So,
Bill Scott, what you got going on up there in Grosse Pointe Farms?
Oh, wow. Grosse Pointe Farms. You even called it all the way out, huh?
I did.
So
I'll be posting your address here shortly and your home phone number.
Yeah, come see me and get all my toilet paper.
Hard no.
So I went with a little bit of an old home week for me. So I figured in this time of craziness, a little bit of comfort food. So started off the evening. I'm calling this Maker's Monday.
All right.
Did a little 46. And it was just one of those things when I started looking through the bunker, so to speak, that I thought you'd pull out one of my old favorites that I have yet to actually crack.
Yes!
Nice.
Bro!
You see what that says right there?
Yes!
That's right. Yeah, there we go. That's right. My brother.
There's also one up there.
Yeah, there we go. That's right.
The reverb is terrible.
I actually am kind of loving it a little bit, but I figured this is just like one of those radio things. So,
am I live? Am I on the radio?
So I see we got Scott from My Bourbon Journey on here. David, Jonah, welcome, guys. Hope everybody's doing all right. I guess I forgot to mention what I'm drinking. I've got
man, what are you drinking?
Cheers.
Got a little of the A120 barrel proof.
Nice.
Picked that up in Bardstown the other day. And then in my other glass, I've got some of our batch 1 Calvin collaboration.
Ooh, nice.
But I've also got a couple more bottles over here. I've got the split save. That's my favorite that we've done.
That one's so good.
And then I have this one over here just for show, just to remind people that if you buy one of our collector's coins off the site for $10, there's 100 of these. We're only selling like 80 of them total.
Get one of
Those 80
these.
get you a chance to win a bottle of the Foregate Foundation. So there'll be a draw in here as soon as we sell the rest of the coins.
What's the difference between the first release and the second release of this?
It's just different barrels. Same whiskey, different barrels.
Do you have a preference
Flavor
wise between them?
No,
Would
I
you
think
prefer one over the other?
Three's a little softer, it's a little easier drinking, slightly sweeter.
Okay.
And the in 5 is just slightly hotter on the tip of the tongue. But again, it's the same whiskey, and it's less than 1% or right around 1% different in proof. So they're real similar. Joan is asking how big are the batches of split stave. I think they were right around 2,700 bottles.
Ooh.
And if you like the split stave finish, we're going to be doing that with a rye this year, 7-year-old barrel proof rye for Christmas this year. Some of the still exist.
How's the bourbon? The split stave?
Yeah, the current one is a blend of 5.5 and 12.
Okay. All right.
And then Mark Brown's joined us. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
So what do you guys? So this was kind of. I know that everyone knew about all this on Friday, but this is kind of the first day, from my standpoint, that kind of feels like I was social distancing because this was the first day the kids were supposed to be at school, and I work from home a lot, pretty often anyway. So it wasn't a huge difference for me to be home. It was just different for me to be home with both the kids here. A 3-year-old and the elder one will be 6 tomorrow. But it's my first day doing it, so it was a little weird. Tomorrow they were supposed to be off school today. Tomorrow will be the first day that they do the distance learning from home, and that's going to be a challenge because my wife works from home too, but we both work full time, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to say the least. And I'm hearing there's probably going to be, superintendent of schools here said that they're kind of making plans to have kids out of school for the rest of the year. So, yay!
Starting that plan for you guys? They're already starting that plan for you.
They're talking about it. It's not official, but I'm hearing that 3 weeks isn't going to make a difference. So it needs to be longer than that. It needs to be closer to 90 days.
Yeah, I'm hearing 8 weeks now too. So
is that? I see Sip Suds and Smokes. Is that Mike? If it is, welcome. Anyway, whichever one of you guys that is, welcome. And he's drinking some red.
Why can you see this and I can't?
Turn on your comments. Click your comments button.
Oh, live comments. Hey, how y'all
doing? There we go.
Nice.
There we go.
Welcome to YouTube. I'm officially an old man. That's hilarious. As if I wasn't sure before. Damn.
Hey, Eric. Hey, Jesus Burke. Saying hi to Tim there.
There we go.
I don't know who that is. Oh, it's Brian. Hey, Brian. What's up?
He's like, I just know Tim.
Brian's also across the bridge in the terror.
Goodness. They probably all hated that little bottle show there from Bill Scott and little bro moment.
My bad. Not really.
My bad.
Sorry.
So, Wes, you work on the administration side of education. How's everything shaking out? How's everything shaking out out in Colorado?
Crazy. We're shut down for our district shut down for 2 weeks. I think it will be longer. I think the governor will probably make an announcement soon. That's just a guess, but kind of crazy to shift gears in the middle of the year. And I start working from home tomorrow. Start doing everything through Zoom or some other community type interface. So it's going to be an interesting end to the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Tim, you're on the retail side of this. This is going to be weird for you guys, right?
Oh man. So as far as I know, the store is going to stay open. The bar is closed. We completely closed the bar. We canceled all our events. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I have a lot of people in the industry too. I mean, look at Larry Rice's place. That's a great example. I mean, if he didn't have the Pearl, he would be in like a complete shutdown. And I mean, even at that, like the only reason he's using the Pearl is just, he's going to start selling some bottles out there to help cover some costs. But I mean, a lot of bars and a lot of industry people are really hurting. They're hurting the most. They're hit hard with this for sure.
I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that the governor is opening up unemployment immediately to service industry workers. I think that's true. If so, good call.
That's what I heard.
For once, maybe Kentucky state government did something right. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Bill, you're in sales, right? And you're also muted.
Bill's muted. Bill, you're muted. You're muted.
You're still muted. All right.
1 second.
His mic's not connected. He screwed everything up. Bourbon barrel talk. Yeah. Bourbon and bars are taking a beating.
They really are. They really are.
Hey, Garrett, thanks for joining us.
And that's happening in Colorado too. The governor shut them down through May 11th today, except for takeout, carry out.
Wow.
Yeah, that happened here as well. I don't think they gave us an end date yet. They just said until further notice. Are you back, Bill?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. I think I hit a button. I'm just getting over by the minute.
This one's for you, buddy. This one's for you.
You have to tell me if it tastes good because I won't open mine. I just have a
refusal. Dude, look. Like I said, there's an empty bottle up there. I've already drank them, dude. Open it and drink it. They're fantastic.
Nice. That's awesome. Someday.
Eric's asking.
Eric asked if we saw a new date for Derby. It's sometime in September. That's what I saw.
Yes, I think it's September 6th, which is good because we always go to Thurby, and the tickets that we've been getting the last couple of years sold out before we got them this year. So maybe we'll have a chance at them again. Hopefully the world exists.
And apparently San Francisco is in a complete lockdown.
They moved Derby to September?
Yeah.
They did.
They did. And Garrett, yeah, my wife and I were supposed to be in Napa in April for our 10th anniversary, and it's just not happening now. So we're just chalking that up. Hopefully we'll get a refund or at least a credit on the flights, but I think that's about as good as it's going to go. Saturday before Labor Day, September 5th.
Oh, look at that. Huh? All right. Maybe this year I'll get a chance to make it down. But it's interesting times up here too. We did the whole lockdown on restaurants and bars today, and I think a lot of that stemmed from what was happening in Ohio and Illinois. We were watching morons go into the bar, and they just knew St. Patty's Day was going to be off the hook. So you can't tell people no and have them just choose. Well, I mean, hell, Kid Rock told the police that they can stuff it, and his bar was going to stay open in Nashville. We'll see how that works.
Stay safe, Craig.
Hey, Craig, you're doing God's work there, buddy.
I wholly hope that you will douse yourself in 120 proof bourbon every time you go into someone's home.
I would be keeping a flask with me at all times.
Yeah, but not for that. I mean, that's a really expensive hand sanitizer.
I like to cleanse from the inside out and sanitize.
Yeah. There you go. No, that's good stuff right there. Yeah, it can't really survive if you're drinking, right? I mean, right?
So, Bill, you're in sales. I mean, I can't imagine you're even allowed to travel. And are you just kind of hoping that you can do some networking over the phone and just unlock?
I mean, basically, I'm not just in sales, but most of my work is done on the road at trade shows, and that's where I meet a lot of people. That's where I develop a lot of new relationships. And so it was one thing when I saw the International Housewares show get canceled, because that's a massive show in Chicago, Illinois. It takes up millions of square feet of display space, and it's every company that makes something for the home, and they killed theirs, which basically damaged Chicago immediately for a week worth of hotels, Uber rides, meals, you name it, and all sorts of entertainment that was going on. And that's when I knew that things were starting to get real serious real fast. But every single one of our trade shows between now and I would say end May has been canceled, and it doesn't matter where it is. I was supposed to be at one in Dallas. I was supposed to be one in Nashville. I was supposed to be one in Chicago. I had another thing out in Arizona, and they're all gone. So,
wow.
But it's the thing is that a lot of them are moving to some kind of virtual scenario. They're trying to figure out ways that they can still help people with keeping in, doing their networking. And those trade shows don't exist for me to go to and just find more people to work with and serve. It's for a lot of organizations. That's their big thing for the year, and this will hurt them if they don't have the ability to follow up with people and expose people to their services and what they do. So it's a cascading effect, and it's really not. It's going to spiral a bit. So the organizations that organize those things are all working real hard to find ways to do something with the alternative. I mean, every organization and every vertical is right now, right? So, you've got kids that are going to be doing distance learning that, everybody expected to be in classrooms. You've got salespeople doing crazy things with, Zoom, conferencing and everything else, just trying to keep it going. So that's the plan up here for now.
Bourbon Barrel Talk. We've got it limited to the 4 of us, but we're going to do some. We're going to do some more of these every few days or so as this distancing thing drags on, and we'll start inviting other guests. Love to have Mike on there. I know he's following us or watching us right now from Suds and Smokes. Got a couple other folks that I'm sure we'd love to have join in with us too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think it'd be really cool to I know we can only do 6 at a time through this, but I think it'd be cool to. I mean, I definitely don't have to be on here every single time. I just think it'd be cool to have other people around in general. That'd be awesome. Yeah,
I think for the most part, we'll try to keep this to anywhere from 2 to 4 of us, and that'll allow us to have 1 or 2 guests on if we want. If we get the whole crew on here with Nick and Matt, that we can't have anybody else too. So we might rotate who's in here, and I don't have to be on everyone either. But let's get some other folks in and just see what's going on across the whiskey world. And we don't have ESPN right now, so we got to have something to do. Shit. How do we turn this into a sport? How do we turn this into a sport?
I mean, we can make it a drinking game, and people can bet on it and shit.
I'm working from home, but I got to work tomorrow.
You have duels.
I may have gotten duels.
And what
there
way?
You go. The duel out.
We could do that. Yeah.
We could do what the Canadians did. Last night I watched Canadians versus Ducks, and they live streamed a game through NHL 20. So it was them playing, but it's pretty fun, actually. I still got to watch a hockey game. That's awesome. Sports aren't dead completely. It was all simulated.
Good Lord, Greg. Save some for the fish, man.
Dang. Greg, you're going crazy, my dude.
Yeah. That 1910, I haven't tried that one. That's got to be, that's on my list.
I like 1910 a lot. If you like a double oaked, anything double oaked, 1910 is one of the good ones out there. I think some of them are a little much, but that's a pretty good one. 1920 is still my favorite one that Old Forester does. Although I can't wait for these single barrel proof ones.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
What is this? What's this EC hand grenade, David Fishburne?
That's these little bottles of their barrel selected like 125 proof of Elijah Craig, and you get them at the gift shop for $25 or something like that.
Greg, Bill, I'm surprised you don't have one laying around there.
I do.
Yeah, see, there we go. I was like, I know.
Yeah, there we go. Pull that up.
I gotta find it. Christ, I don't know where it is. It's around somewhere.
Oh, I like Bourbon Barrel Talk. Bourbon Tournament of 64.
Well, it's around somewhere. Who knows where?
I thought it was with your Elijah Craig stuff on that shelf. Yeah, I mean, it'd be on that shelf.
It was right next to me.
Yeah. See, there you
look
go.
At that.
That's what it looks like.
The last place you look. Oh, there we go. Cool. Well, that's all right. Yeah, I got to get down there for a tour. It's been a bit.
Yeah, better wait for a while.
Oh, you got jokes. Good to know.
I think we kind of have to at a time like this, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. No, I can't pull it up. And even if I could, I don't know if I could spin it around and show it to everybody. But the other day, a friend of mine posted a thing that said, the grocery chain down in the South Florida region, Publix. I don't know if you're up in Kentucky. So Publix has a display case. Right when you walk in, it's all cakes, right? And they did this one that was toilet paper roll. And a friend of mine posted this thing and says, "Oh, Publix got jokes."
Oh my God.
Because that was pretty much the only toilet paper you were finding in the place. So
Mike wants it to warm up in Nashville for a little bit for some golf and cigars, which I agree with. I toyed around with joining a country club this year. We quit when my wife got pregnant with our first kid, so it's been a long time since I played regularly. Even bought a bunch of new golf equipment this year, and then this shit happens, and golf course might be the only thing we can do.
Yeah, well, see, now you don't get to blame the equipment. I don't know what to do.
Oh, no, I'll blame the equipment. I probably bought the wrong stuff, right?
Yeah, so we're trying to figure out what to do with the kids, and I got to tell you, I'm thinking cornhole tournament on the driveway, social distancing style. We'll see.
It's always
trying to come up with some fun. What's that?
This is a new riff.
Oh, new riff. Yeah, new riff just hit Michigan.
It's a private.
Beautiful. I just found out that I can make you guys like solo when you want to hold something up to the camera. Wes, show us that coin again. That's beautiful.
There you go.
Yeah, that is really cool. Make big screen. Yeah, that's the business. I'm about that.
Wow.
Love it.
Well, all right. That's pretty sharp.
Thanks. Wes, you may have found a kindred soul with Mike there hitting the scotch today.
I know. I've been communicating here that I'm a little bit jealous.
I will say that Craig cracked a 72 Wild Turkey, and my absolute favorite whiskey in the world is 1970s Wild Turkey. So
72 Wild Turkey.
If you want to break your social distancing, feel free to bring that over to my basement.
I'm pretty sure that's Craig's birthday turkey. And I'm super jealous. Damn it.
Dude, birthday turkey. That's awesome.
We've got 2 coins, Eric. We've got the standard Modern Thirst one is for sale right now. This is we made 100 of these. We're selling about 80 of them. And each one of these, they're serial numbers. If you buy one of those, we're going to do a drawing once we've sold everything. The winner gets a bottle of Foregate Foundation, batch 5. I've also got I shot a couple videos this week with the Elijah Craig A120, and there's a Heaven Hill Select stock that's finished in coffee barrels. And so what we're going to do throughout the next few weeks is I'm going to send out, regardless of whether we sold them all or not, I'm going to send out a 2-ounce sample to a coin holder of everything that I taste and review over the next couple of weeks. So that'll be a little something special for anyone who's bought a coin from us.
And what we're going to do with these, once or twice a month, we're doing duels on Modern Thirst. And for those who pick up one of these coins, they'll be for sale soon. I'm going to give away samples from the actual bottles that we're doing a duel challenge with. So I draw a number a couple times a month, and also give out some of the top 10 whiskeys from last year that we rated, including the Octomore 10.3 samples. So
wonderful. Craig, you got some 65 Pro out there, or no? Who was that? Greg,
that was me, actually. That was me.
You
forget about it. Whoa, that's what I'll drink next. Since people are talking about old stuff, we'll drink a 65 Old Crow next.
I want to tout Mike's show again. By the way, if you're not listening to Sip Suds and Smokes, I know you can find it on the radio in a lot of places, and his podcast is one of the most popular on a number of different podcast outlets in the food category. So check it out. It's a great show. We'll have him on here too. They're a lot of fun. Those guys. Good old boy Mike.
Are those guys local to Kentucky?
I think they're all over, but they're based in Nashville. Mike and team in Nashville.
Okay.
Well, and then there's the internet. So
I like to call this men meeting men on the internet. Nothing really creepy about that.
Oh, no. Well, ever since Craigslist got cracked, so.
Bill, get your head out of the gutter.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Anything like that.
You guys, listen to me. Don't start with me, rookie. You're on day 1. I'm on day 4.
Technically, it would be Friday. This was the first day that they were home, the kids. So.
Excellent. Yeah, you're still on day 1. I didn't even bother shaving. I brought an assortment of hats because I need to trade that out because, let's just be serious. I didn't really bother doing my hair today.
I took a shower. I just didn't do anything to my hair, and it's getting thin anyway, so it's probably cuts down on the glare to head up. Oh, there you go, Bill. I like that.
Say what's up to Bourbon Barrel Talk too. They just showed up.
Yeah, they've been here for a while. They've had a few different.
I just now saw them, so that's why I was saying something about it.
Men in tights. Oh my goodness, that's just
We'll probably do another one of these later this week. We'll have some of you guys join us if you've got a decent microphone and a webcam.
There we go.
Again, that's another thing that could go a lot of different ways. I probably should phrase that differently.
All right, so just got into this guy. 1965 Old Crow.
Where did you get a hold of a 65?
A buddy of mine here in town gave it to me as a gift. Thank you, Jonah. Appreciate it.
Nice.
That is St. Patty's hat. Yes, it is. And that St. Patty happens to be my oldest daughter's birthday. She turns 6 tomorrow, so that's pretty exciting. I've got to just make sure I don't drink so much that I'm not a hungover, worthless dad tomorrow.
Oh, there we go.
We bought our new bike, so I've got to be able to be out pushing her. It's got training wheels, but I got to make sure I don't vomit all over her. So,
can you just pad one of your hallways and she just do up and down the hallway?
No, it's not gonna work. My poor daughter, she's not exactly the most athletic 6-year-old in the world, and she's struggling with the coordination to ride a bike with training wheels. That's all I need to say. She's supposed to do golf lessons this fall, or this spring, but I guess that's off at this point.
We got our oldest to get on the bike riding thing real fast with something called a scoot bike, in case that helps.
A scoot.
Yeah, it's basically a 2-wheeler without pedals, and because of it, they just get used to riding and turning. And just a little bit off the subject matter, but it was one of those things where she got so good at riding that thing that when she needed to pedal, put her on a regular bike, she didn't need the training wheels at all. She literally just started riding.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of thing where it sits like this, and you have a foot and a foot, and then? Mm-hmm. Okay,
I know, riding bike Flintstone style.
Yeah,
we've got one of those, and she hasn't figured it out yet. If that tells you anything.
Well, where there's a will.
Maybe she'll be an artist or doctor. She played soccer last year. It wasn't
because artists and doctors never ride a bike.
They definitely don't.
Tim steered me to this at Westport Whiskey Wine. Let me make my screen bigger. Any of you guys in Louisville over to Westport while they're still open? This is a 5-year MGP pick, barrel proof. Man, this is fantastic.
I can see. I can tell by your bottle.
I just bought it. What?
3 days ago. Yeah. I already need a backup. Mine's gone.
I mean, what the hell else am I gonna do? I can't leave the house.
I mean, and look behind you. I mean, with a shelf like that, you should just be enjoying your time.
There's my own chip from Modern Thirst. You're pissing me out.
Oh, thank you, Eric. Right on, dude.
They make good Glencairn covers if you need something to do with them. They're good for display. But again, you get a chance to win a 4-gate bottle and some samples. So I've got 3 of them to send out. So I think we've got a couple other orders that I need to pack up too. So they'll be going out.
All right.
They'll be going out this week.
Yeah. The Glencairn cover is so that I don't put roofies in Bill's bourbon when he's not looking.
I've only known Bill since I was 18, so he's only joking mostly.
As far as you know.
It could be. So we still have 11 folks on. What do you guys want over the next? Hell, you might not want to hear us ever again. But what do you guys want to hear us do? See us do on these? Because we're not going to go that long on these. We don't want to go bore you guys all night. Chuck Mint, my kids. There's a permanent record of this now. If Child Protective Services (CPS) comes a calling. What do you guys want to do on this? We can do some sort of a regular contest or something like that. It's just if we're going to do them every few days, it's tough to mail samples all over the country, especially if they close down the post office, which at this or UPS, which who knows at this point.
Well, I don't think they can close down UPS or FedEx and all that.
That's a
I
good
keep
question.
having this feeling that there's when they start closing all the retail and all that kind of stuff, we're just gonna have Jeff Bezos sitting back going.
What new release are you most looking forward to in 2020?
Ooh. Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye.
That's probably my number one. Yeah.
That's
really
up there.
Their Cornerstone Rye would just rock my world this year.
I would agree with that on the American World, the Rare Breed Rye. I was really looking forward to this, the black from Ardbeg, which I'm doing tonight. Did a little duel.
Oh.
So if you have the drum, which is a rum cast finish, and the black committee release, Pinot Noir, this one takes it hands down. So
Nice.
the black is the winner.
The other thing that I'm just interested in is where Heaven Hill's going to go with their barrel proofs now. I mean, they've got Larceny out. They've got Elijah Craig. I doubt that they bring out I've been bugging them for a long time to bring out a barrel proof wheated whiskey because the Bernheim, of course, they kind of did a few years ago with the Parker's Heritage release, and it was just fantastic in my opinion. But I would really like them to bring that out, and I've suggested it to a couple of their marketing people who say that they think it's a good idea and they may try and just do a barrel proof collection where they do the Elijah Craig for their rye whiskey, they do the Larceny for the wheat whiskey, and then they do the Bernheim for the wheat whiskey and Larceny for the wheated bourbon, and then a rye at some point as well too, a barrel proof rye.
Okay.
So and they would probably sell them I suggested they sell them in 375s as a set. But anyway, since I'm just rambling now, I'm interested in them because Tim and I did a video a while back, if you haven't seen it, where we did the last batch last year of the Elijah Craig barrel proof, and that was when they first started going way back up into those high proofs that they were at for years. And I feel like sorry, that was pretty funny. I feel like I'm really excited to see them get up into those higher proofs again and kind of go back to that classic Elijah Craig barrel proof taste. But yeah, and yeah, the Mariage 18, of course. I mean, who is? I just doubt I'll see it. But who knows?
So I have a question.
I passed on the last one so many times that before I realized I was supposed to be buying it, it was off shelves.
Bill and Tim in the bourbon world, A120, the A series you can hardly ever find in Colorado, or at least for me. Is it the least numbered release as far as numbers of bottles compared to the other ones? Because I rarely see that ever here. B you can find everywhere.
I don't think they release bottle quantities of that. At least I haven't heard. I've never really thought about it too much. But I don't think so. There's been years where there's A's sitting around for months when B's already on the shelf.
Yeah, that's true.
I've heard really good things about A120. So
hey, what's the proof? What's the proof on that one?
This one's back up there again. This one is 136.6.
And C19 was 136 as well, correct?
Yeah, so it's back up there. I think this one's a little more well-rounded.
Okay.
It's not my favorite of the barrel proofs, but it's pretty tasty. It's pretty damn good.
Craig.
Yeah, so the kiss-ass comment about Foregate, we do have a straight rye coming out here in the summer. So I'm excited to get that just because I've been tasting samples of it, and I just want some freaking bottles on my shelf so that I can drink whenever I want.
When's that supposed to happen?
That'll be summer.
Okay.
Probably early June. We have another batch coming out that's finished in cognac and rum barrels. It's already bottled, and that'll come out right before would have been Derby, so mid to late April.
So when the coronavirus shelter in place ends, we should be seeing it.
Hopefully, I mean, this is assuming. So another thing, this is another thing we don't know about brands like ours that are smaller is what's this going to do to us? Because I don't know that retail establishments are going to be able to stay open forever. So, maybe the distributors want to hold off and not buy bottles from us. In which case, we'll just be sitting on bottles for a few months and kind of cease other operations. It sucks, but if it happens, it happens. Is what it is.
Is there a way to move things like that to an online forum? More like
we do have one. We have one. We use Seal Box out of Washington D.C.
that's what I was thinking of.
They can sell to a lot of states, so we can use them. There's a bill that just passed Kentucky committee that's going to allow producers to ship directly to consumers, skip the distributors altogether. That's still got to get through the House, Senate, and be signed by the governor. But I'd love for that to happen. We just have to get a fulfillment company to work with us, and I mean that'd be great. We wouldn't have to worry about a distributor. We'd have to online or sell it. We'd still use a distributor for brick and mortar, Kentucky and Tennessee and probably Indiana. But yeah, we'll be in Indiana this year.
Cool. Yeah, Michigan's so far. It's really hard for you guys to get it all the way up here. So
at least you're not a control state. I mean,
what does that mean?
That means that you have to sell to an ABC, and then you don't get paid until it's sold on the shelf. So every other place you sell to a distributor, and you get paid when the distributor buys it. The other places you basically loan it to the ABC, and they decide what they can charge, what they want to charge for it, and what they'll pay you for it, and you don't get paid until it gets sold by the retailer. So it's like an extra level of crap that you have to go through. So
wow, that's terrible.
That is terrible.
That's Ohio.
Michigan.
There's a good number.
Michigan doesn't have the control that we do have a state minimum pricing, but we don't have a. I don't believe that they have any kind of say over that. In fact, there's a weird thing that's just happened is that the allocations that come in, they were, I guess you had to buy it. You basically do buy it kind of from the state, or at least somehow you go through some kind of a computer system. And hey, Eric, east side of Detroit. The whole point is that they set the dollar figure that they're allowed to charge for it, and then they but something about the ordering system has just recently changed. It used to be that they would allocate it and only certain places would get so many bottles or whatever. And they just changed the system because there were some game players that were figuring out ways to basically hoard the whole allocation. And they kind of took the throttle off. And now what's interesting is instead of the brands getting to allocate, this store sells a lot for us, so they get 10. This store sells a little bit more for us, so they get 12 or whatever. They have to go through the system where all the rules are completely thrown out the window, and we've got small retailers that are just like buying 10 cases of something that's exceptionally rare, and then everybody else who normally would be able to get some of the juice here and there can't get any at all. So there's something strange going on up here right now that needs to work its way out, but I don't think it's going to happen until after the Corona crazy.
Yep. So Mike from Sip Clubs and Smokes is asking us about Kentucky Owl Dry State. So if you haven't heard about this,
Eric.
I've not heard of this.
Yeah, I have. Hey, Dixon, best of luck to him. I hope it's a great whiskey. I don't know a single person on this planet who's going to pay $1,000 for a bottle of. I don't even think it's going to be age stated. But I don't know anyone. It looks like we just lost Bill Scott. But I don't know anyone who's going to pay $1,000 for a bottle of whiskey, bottle of bourbon.
You're the only one, as far as on my screen, you're the only one that's big.
Yeah.
There we go. We're back. Oh,
Weird, Bill.
Scott's back as well. There we go.
Bill was big, and then he dropped out, so it just defaulted to me, and I had to figure that out. So,
how you doing? Hey, look at Bill. Really big.
God, $1,000. Like,
God.
I thought it was a joke. I thought Mike was putting a joke out there. So that's real, huh?
No, it's real. No, it's real. I don't know. I believe it's not age stated. Mike, I don't have the press release in front of me, and I didn't read it that closely because once I saw that price, my eyes glazed over a little bit. But I don't think it's age stated. So I think it's gonna be pretty similar to the confiscated, and I don't know. More power to you. If you got people who want to buy it, great. If you can charge $1,000 for it, I do say that given the market that we're in and what's happening to the economy at the moment, it's a much harder sell now than it was 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
and 2 weeks ago it was a really, 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 really hard sell. Not age stated, yeah. So
dry state.
Wow.
Wait, who's dry?
No one's dry. It's the name of it.
Oh, okay, cool. Never mind.
It's called Dry State. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say hard pass on that.
Yeah.
Phil, I wish you were a little bit more outgoing. I think you really need to share more about what's going on in your head. You need to be a little more comfortable with being honest with the group.
You know, Mike's drinking the honey cask from Bellmead. I have seen so many people talking about this honey cask. I've never tried it. I know.
Yeah, me too.
So, because Foregate, we finish almost everything we do, and we get a lot of feedback about people who are purists and they won't drink anything that's been touched by another spirit. But then this honey cask, everybody loves it. Like everyone goes nuts over it. At some point, I'm going to have to try it.
Yeah,
I need to figure out more about it because it's a thing, and I haven't been into it, so I got to get in on that thing.
I guess they first did that 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
It'd be coming up on 3 years. But anyway, whatever I first had of it originally, I really liked. That being said, though, I actually haven't had any since then. So I don't know where it's at exactly as far as from when I first originally had it to where it is now. But damn. I really like honey, too, so there's that. It's like 2 things I love. It's honey and bourbon. Put it together.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, win-win.
I have to imagine. I can't imagine. Mike's saying we should read. I need to go read his review, but I can't imagine that it wouldn't work. I mean, it's like a sweetener, a natural sweetener in bourbon. Why not? I mean, and there's really nothing that tastes like honey. So awesome.
The Spirit Hound Distillery in Colorado. I'm trying to think of the town right now. I can't think of it. They do an American single malt. They've also finished it in honey barrels. The last Snowflake released by Stranahan's, where they marry a bunch of different barrels together. One of the Stranahan's barrels they used last year was finished in a maple syrup barrel.
Ooh.
So, Mike, is the honey? Did they just literally just pick their best barrels or something? We should have had Mike. I should send him a. Damn.
No, it's actually barrels that have had honey in it.
But just from the honey, okay.
Yeah.
Eric, honey covered Twinkies.
It's not a honey barrel, it's a honey barrel. Honey covered Twinkies dipped in bourbon.
Fantastic.
I mean, I wasn't hungry until just right this minute, and now, damn you.
Well, I need to check that. I'm a big Bellmead fan, so yeah, I need to check that out then.
Yeah,
so it sounds like Wes was dead on there.
Yeah, they had the release, I think, last weekend. They have quite a line there. It's kind of like a Snowflake release at Stranahan's. People line up and they probably, I think, sell out the day of. Yeah,
I mean, it just sounds like it should go together. It just should. Now I think I got to go find some fucking honey barrels for Foregate. I don't want to copy someone else, so I mean,
fuck it. Everybody's copying. Everyone's a copy of a copy of a copy.
Do it with rye or something. Do a rye. A honey rye.
12 hours average wait in line. Holy crap.
If this was 30 minutes ago, I think I would just send Mike an invite to join our stream. We're just literally like, hey, Mike, tell us what we should talk about.
My last wait in line at Stranahan's for Snowflake release was 28 hours.
Jeez.
I want to do that sometime when there's not a death plague going around. I want to come out and do the camp out. I don't even need a bottle. I just want to observe it and kind of shoot a video of it and stuff for Modern Thirst and just have some fun.
Yeah, I'll go with you. Let me know. I'll hop a flight for that. That sounds like fun.
Denver, right? Or no?
Yeah, it's in Denver.
Denver, yeah.
I think a good one to go to is every June they do a cask thief where it's about a 4-hour event where you get 6 1-ounce pours out of the barrel, straight out of the barrel into your glass. Mm-hmm. They're single malt finished in 6 different types of cask. Definitely well worth the visit.
But do I get to camp out in Colorado for it on the sidewalk?
You don't camp out for this one, but you they have a limited number of tickets. They'll sell about 300 tickets, and they also will roast a couple pigs over Stranahan staves. They break down the barrels and they'll roast the pigs over the whiskey staves.
Ooh.
So it sounds a little similar to, and Mike could chime in on this one. If you know JB's Whiskey House in Nashville. I think the first rule about it is you don't talk about it, but they did a pig roast that I wish I could have gotten to this year because man, oh man, the idea of just hanging out and drinking bourbon and roasting a pig sounds awesome.
Well, it does. Sleeping on the sidewalk, isn't that called urban camping or no?
I think it's called being homeless.
Yeah, it was. Now it's not, because we can't say that because it hurts people's feelings.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw the pictures of their barbecue this year down at the Whiskey House, and I was really jealous. I couldn't make it down for that.
Son of a gun.
Just a Tuesday.
Just a Tuesday. Nice. That's hilarious.
Awesome.
That is funny.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess
so,
we've been going about 45 minutes. We probably cut it off at around 50 minutes to an hour, somewhere in there. I mean, we can hang out all night for all I care, but
no worries.
We'll keep going for a bit. Oh, look, Tim dropped it.
I'm feeling lucky that the puppy fell asleep and didn't start barking and messing things up, so we're good.
Hey, it's no problem for you. I get texts from we have all six of us on Modern Thirst. We have a text chain that's going on forever, and Bill replies at like 12:30 at night. No, I wake up in the morning and it's like, you have a text from Bill Scott. No shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's got kids. He's got a job. Dude's up all hours of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I actually went to bed at 4 a.m. last night, but that was because I was doing my prepper thing.
Nope.
I'm gonna go probably tomorrow morning, since I've been drinking tonight. I'll go load up a bunch of magazines, keep them in the safe just in case, you know.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. That's you mean like Men's Health. Yeah, no, there's all sorts of crazy crap all over the news right this minute. I've been saying for over 2 weeks, I'm not nearly as worried about this virus as I am worried about the humans humaning. So
here's a good one: Blanton's Gold in the U.S. Something that we'll rarely see on shelves in Kentucky because people will tater the shit out of it. So I like Blanton's Gold. If you've ever had it, I think it's just 100 proof Blanton's basically. 103 proof, yeah. It's the higher proof version of Blanton's. I like it. I like it more than regular Blanton's. I don't like it enough to spend $150 for a bottle or to, elbow people out of the way and grab it. It's going to be one of those things that taters go nuts for. I like Buffalo Trace. I like all their mash bills. I think mash bill 2 is good. It can be one-dimensional if you don't have the best barrels of it, but good barrel of mash bill number 2 is great. I actually had a buddy of mine it works for Sazerac, and I was asking about that relationship with Tanaka, who everyone knows is Age International, and everyone always thinks that they own the mash bill. They don't. They own the distribution rights to those brands. Buffalo Trace can take that mash bill and make a new bourbon with it if they want to. They just don't, because they have their own stuff. They like their mash bill as it stands. They just do it under those names.
I've always wondered why they haven't made the straight from the barrel in the U.S. part of the antique collection.
So my buddy just kind of laughed about it and said it's because Tanaka doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Pretty much. Pretty fucking much.
I'm just gonna just drink this right here.
Yeah, and it probably is. I think the bottom line is that Tanaka is an importer in Japan. And they're really only concerned with getting it to their market. They don't care about the U.S. market. I don't know about their distribution rights in the U.S. Like I don't know if it's different if they were distributed in the U.S. Maybe their costs are different. Maybe they don't have the right license. I don't know. I don't know how that works. They're also not a distributor in the U.S., so they would have to partner with other distributors in the U.S. to do it, which would probably be
well, cuts in
all the ones that Buffalo Trace is already with. But Buffalo Trace does release some Hancock's Reserve and stuff that is mash bill too. So the common belief that that Tanaka actually owns that mash bill is false. They just own the distribution rights to the whiskeys that are traditionally made with that mash bill. But there's been a number of times that people have been in the warehouses and seen barrels picked for Eagle Rare either accidentally or just because of taste profile that are for mash bill number 2. They're just it's burned into the barrel and they're sent over to Eagle Rare or something along those lines. That's kind of rare, but it happens.
It also happens if they run out. I will say off the record, even though this is live. Off the record, that does happen too. If they run out of something, that's usually when you see like Eagle Rare go mash bill 2 or Blanton's go mash bill 1 because they just didn't have what they needed for stock.
And they, I've never heard of it happening with Blanton's because it all comes from that same warehouse. But I do know that number 2 has been in a couple of single barrel picks of Buffalo Trace. It's been on single barrel picks of Eagle Rare. And I think there's one other one, right? I can't think. There's another one that I've seen a private barrel pick from Buffalo Trace before, where someone randomly got a mash bill number 2 barrel.
That's a sample of Blanton's from the other mash bill. That's
really interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty rare, like extremely rare, but it definitely does happen.
Very cool. All right.
It's red.
Greg has posed the question, Tim. He's put you on the spot.
And somebody asked him about. Oh my God. Okay, so I guess in the heat of God, I don't even know what my reason. Let's say in the heat of trying to get popular on the internet, I did a lot of bottle chugs from bottles of bourbon. Like stupid. And one of the nights Greg was over, we were having a game night, Greg, right? I think it was a game night. And there was a bottle of Blanton's Red, which is Japanese export/import it's essentially the same thing that we get here in America, but they have it in Japan as well. And it's called Blanton's Red. And I took a huge rip from it and then messed up on the video and had to take another huge rip from it. And then I kicked everyone out of my house because I was sick. So yeah, thanks a lot, Greg. Appreciate it, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You don't drink Blanton's Red straight from the bottle.
No, I tend not to drink anything from straight from the bottle anymore. I think I got too old for that.
Hey, man, it's just a state of mind. Just a state of mind.
Nice.
Tim, you loading up a magazine right now?
I sure am.
Because that's always good to do while drinking bourbon, I hear. That's the safest. That's gun safety at its finest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Like my buddy says, as long as the booger picker isn't on the bang maker, you're in good shape. So,
I'll be real. I definitely in all of this going on. I definitely get a little more paranoid when I get a few drinks in me. So,
you really do look like you're sitting there loading up a magazine.
I am.
Are you really?
I really am.
How come we've never been to the range, man?
That's a riot.
I legitimately am sitting here filling up a magazine. Yeah,
I think the Modern Thirst account just got flagged by Homeland Security.
Yeah, probably. That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Okay, so that's that. All right.
You know, it's funny. I had my next door neighbor and I have been to the range many times, and he's a collector of a lot of antique firearms and stuff. And we had a conversation today via text that he was saying that he normally doesn't keep a ton of magazines loaded up, but he has recently just in case things get crazy. And I think we're probably a far cry from that at the moment, but it's no longer the weird thing about that is that's no longer a weird thought, right? Because we're kind of in uncharted territories with all of this. It's no longer completely out of the realm of reason to think you should be careful.
Yep.
Oh, there are lines around the building at the gun shops all over the country right this minute. And for the same reason.
Right now, it's the weird. The two things that are actually keeping me 100%. Let's not say 100%. Let's say
wow.
Who dinged?
That was me.
Not me.
Damn you.
Sorry. two of the things that are actually keeping me pretty sane, let's say like 80% sane, the fact
So about normal.
I have plenty of guns and ammunition, and the fact that I have surplus of over 120 proof bourbon.
Right.
Again, we're cleansing from the inside out. We're sanitizing from the inside out. We're killing the virus.
And if you've got butter, you pretty much have an econ lesson. So
there you go. There you go.
Greg, I have a good friend in Chicago who used to live here in Kentucky, and he said today that he went out to order some. He went online and ordered some ammo because he's afraid of a ban, and he's pretty convinced it's coming. He had to have a special permit just to when he moved there, just to take his with him.
Wait, say that one more time. How'd that go?
So he lives in Chicago, and he doesn't keep a lot on hand of ammunition. I mean, I don't want to turn this into a gun. Total gun show or something like that, but he has a handgun that he purchased when he lived in Kentucky, and when he moved to Chicago, you have to have a special permit. You have to license it basically with the city in order to keep it if you're in the city limits. So he did that when he moved up there a couple of years ago, and he doesn't, as a rule, keep a lot of ammunition on hand, and he buys it when he goes to the range or something like that. And today he went out and online and ordered a bunch just because. Just better be safe than sorry.
Yep.
Normally, I don't really get on board with the prepping and stuff like that, but I'm absolutely not. I'm not discounting. It's no longer the realm of what you would refer to theorists and crazy people or anything like that. Now, we're in some weird times, and I don't know where it's going to go. Just don't. I tend to think it's not going to get that crazy. Because, I mean, we haven't, at this point, farms haven't stopped working and power. We have no reason to think power is going to go out and or anything like that. And in worst case scenario, it's not like the virus is going to kill 60% of the population or something like that. And I don't mean to say this flippantly either. There's about a 90, we're looking at probably a 98, 99% survival rate. So we're probably going to be fine in the long run, but it's no longer weird. A lot of the people who weren't really preppers, but we're kind of leaning that way now. They're a little bit more mainstream than they were 5 days ago, and that's crazy to think that the reality has shifted so far in the last 5 days.
Yeah. Well, you start doing some crazy things like telling people that they can't travel like they normally would, or telling people that they need to stay in their homes. And you don't actually have to be a conspiracy theorist or nut to start to see where people can feel like their liberties are. I mean, we're actively choosing this. This is not necessarily a bad thing what we're doing right now. I'm just saying we're choosing to do the whole social distancing thing and the self-isolation thing. We're making the choice to participate in this, but at the same time, we are significantly altering not just our own personal lives, but our professional lives, our local economies, our national economy, and what we're seeing now with the global economy. And because we're being told to, and that is something that doesn't just really sit well with a lot of people when they know, their history, when they've studied how things can go. And when things that are happening like in the city of Champlain, Illinois, where they made it so that it is during this time not possible to, what do they call it? They call it distribute. You can't take any of your sidearms or weapons and transfer them to somebody else. Effectively, if you had a buddy who has a lot of guns and he says you don't have any and you're legally allowed to possess one, you can't give it to him. And that's sort of the beginning of somebody trying to infringe on some of the Second Amendment rights and whatever. Again, not to go too far into the whole gun realm, I can see where if you start to add some of these things up in your head, it can start to be a little bit freaky. And
if you already lean towards that, this is going to play into your deepest fears. It really is. Yeah. I mean, and I'm not saying this in a judgmental way on either way about this, but if you already are deeply skeptical about the government, and this is not making you feel better about it, I can tell you that. The one thing that I will say is that it's not this isn't a hoax, and it's not an overreaction, because people talk about the sheer numbers of this and they compare it to the flu and things like that. The simple math of it is there's 45,000 ICU beds in America right now, 45,000. And on any given day, it's between 30 and 40% occupied. in Italy, if we take per capita what's happened in Italy and transfer it to the United States, and we only get half the outbreak they get, from what I understand, we're talking about at any given time, 200,000 people needing intensive care beds in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that people who need intensive care, 150,000 of them plus can't get it, right? And that's respirators, which this is a respiratory illness. There's a lot of issues that Mike, asshole.
I resemble that remark.
I mean, there's a lot of there's just a lot of reasons why, everyone talks about flattening the curve. That's what they're talking about. They're saying that if you're going to get sick, most of you are probably going to live through it. We just don't want you all to get sick at once, because then that 1 to 2% fatality rate, the death rate, becomes 4% or 5%, and you start impacting people who are otherwise healthy because they can't get the intensive care that would normally get them through this, right? So,
right. Well, and that's why the death rate, the fatality
this
rate is higher for third world and for folks who don't have access to the same level of care that we do. But we only have access to this level of care at a level that is that has been planned for. And if we exceed that plan, our level of care percentage drops immediately.
Right, and it's true. So I understand why this is a little bit different. I understand why people are people are a little bit why this is being treated so much differently than flu. Flu happens over the course of 6 months. We have natural resistance to flu, so even if you get it, it's not as bad as it would be in its natural state. The vaccine is 60% effective, so 6 out of 10 people who get it don't get the flu in the first place. Most of the rest of them get a much lesser version of the flu than they would otherwise, because we have some natural resistance built up, and we have the vaccine, and we have treatment like Tamiflu, which we've got none of that for the new one. So I understand it's weird, and that's why we're doing this, because and we really ought to get off this topic, because part of the reason I want to do this is that people don't sit around watching the news about coronavirus all the fucking time. Give someone something to do other than sports. So I think we're about ready to end this stream, because we've been going over an hour now. Let people get on with their lives, and we'll do a few more. I want to try to do maybe 2 or 3 of these a week, depending on if we can just get 2 different guys from Modern Thirst, and we can get some guests on, and definitely want to have Mike and some of the other folks who've been on the chat today to join us. But let's do these, and let's pick some topics and pick some fun things to do while we do it. Maybe we can all agree to have a Scotch day or something like that sometime, or a non-US whiskey day, and have a little fun with it, and give some folks who are out there, be it 10, 15 at a time, something else to watch other than the news and replays of old sports broadcasts.
Just out of curiosity, just because tomorrow is what it is, should we at least think about St. Patty's Day?
If you guys want to do this, so again, my whole St. Patrick's Day life was changed because my first daughter was born on St. Patrick's Day, so it's her birthday. I'm pretty sure that if I do one of these for an hour at night, my wife will divorce me and kick me in the nuts before she walks out the door with everything I own, including all the whiskey back here. So we probably should, if you guys want to plan one, that's fine. But I'll probably have to pass on tomorrow. But I think maybe like Thursday or something would be a good night to maybe try again.
Sounds like a plan.
I hope to post a Modern Thirst Irish whiskey duel on tomorrow or Wednesday, if I ever get time to write it. So some Teeling whiskeys, a comparison.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Right. I'm looking forward to this one. I love to hear that, David.
Yeah, thanks, David. That's awesome, bro.
That works.
Awesome. All right, everybody.
And on that note,
thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll do it again. We'll send, be on the lookout. Follow us, like and follow us on YouTube so that you'll hear when the next one of these is. It'll be on, social media too. So we're at Modern_Thirst on Twitter, and I think it's at Modern Thirst on Instagram, and Modern Thirst on Facebook. We'll have all of those on the our next one will be on the we will post it and have it for you for give you about a day's notice or so. We'll post it in the morning, and we'll have the feed at night. So follow us, check us out. We'll try to keep things going. If we can just get a handful of people who are interested in hanging out with us and drinking a little bit, and we'll invite a few folks to join us. We'll have some fun. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.